Kiddo 15. It's been a while. Been working hard. I'm still battling, still fighting. It's gonna be a long fight, and I'm gonna keep fighting. Um, Definitely check out my previous videos so you can kind of get up to date on what's going on. Um, Look in the link below to check out my website, and on that website, you'll find my blog where you can find my personal email where you can email me questions. Try to answer. I try to answer every question by video. It's a lot more meaningful that way. You can kind of replay it if you need to, or you don't have to you know, go back in your messages or see if you deleted it or anything like that. I mean, I'll reply to you personally and just kind of tell you like, yeah, I uploaded the video. It's right here in this link if you want to watch it. And also I have the option of making the video private, so only you can watch it. You know what I'm saying? If you really don't want I mean, I'm not gonna put your address out there or say your name or anything, but so it's really anonymous. But if you really feel that bad about it, then I can make it private so only you can watch it. I'm making a second video. It'll be more about me and my progress, but I really want to get to an email that I received today. I mean, I've been receiving a lot of emails, but they kind of all based around the same question. Haven't really been able to really been able to upload videos. It's about to be finals week. I'm still a good psychology college student, so Penn State is off for this week, so I get some time to kind of relax for Turkey Day, and got one more week of school and finals, and I'm good to go till spring starts on January 7th. But yeah, getting to this email. Definitely gonna give her a response. She sent me this. It's November 22nd, by the way, 2011. Birthday was yesterday, November 21st, 1988. Makes me 23 years old. Hey, I'm just your average 23-year-old college student, trying to make it. Happy to see another year on this earth. But let me get to her email. It says, hi. I came across your YouTube videos about your battle with depression and panic disorder. I have a couple of questions I would appreciate if you could try and answer your best for me. I have suffered with panic disorder and depression for the past 1.5 years. Before this time, I was considered normal. I was outgoing, would catch the bus anywhere I wanted all throughout the day and go shopping alone. I worked full time, etc. I was having my first panic attack when I was in situations alone. I would have this fear now. I have this fear now of going anywhere or being alone without anyone I know nearby for fear of having more panic attacks. I get panicky and scared to death if my fiance leaves me home for a while or if he works overnight. I can't go without him or someone I know with me. My doctor prescribed me Paxil to take and says it will work wonders for me. And gave me Klonopin, like Xanax, to take as needed only until the Paxil starts to work. I've heard people say it's giving their lives back, and others say that they can't function with Paxil unless they have Xanax or Klonopin too. My question is, how do you feel on Paxil alone? Like, are you your normal self without taking the Xanax, or do you have to take it with the Paxil for it to be effective? I'm asking this because I don't want to rely on Xanax or Klonopin. I would like to get back to my full-time work and go out like I used to with only the help of the Paxil. Can you tell me how the Paxil is working for you? Would gladly appreciate it. Smiley face. Thanks and congrats so far on your journey to recovery. I love getting emails like this. Not that I want to see anyone suffering or get pleasure out of anyone hurting, but it's nice that she's not sitting back saying, oh, I'm going to just sit here and do what the doctor says. I'm going to sit here and take this Paxil and take this Xanax or Klonopin this take this Zoloft and Xanax, Klonopin, or Wellbutrin, Xanax, Klonopin, etc., etc., etc. You know, just mix and match. And because the first thing I told my doctor when I started, well, first I'll try to answer your questions before I get into my background. But my question is, how do you feel on Paxil alone? Well, on Paxil alone, now I'm a lot better. I've been on it since September 14th, and it is now November 22nd. So it's been about 9 weeks, well past the good times phase. The first 2 weeks, 2 3 weeks was terrible for me. Like it wasn't pretty. I mean, it wasn't terrible either. Like it wasn't like terribly horrible. Nah, that doesn't sound right, but it wasn't too bad. It was just more. Um, your body has to get used to it. Like it's kind of unpleasant. Kind of have to definitely tell your doctor about any symptoms you're having. Because when I first was put on SSRI, which is Zoloft, Paxil, Wellbutrin, etc., etc., I was put on Zoloft, and I started taking it, and I felt suicidal. I felt down. I'm an outgoing person. Like I'm a college athlete. I'm saying I'm cool with everybody. Like I used to go out, have fun, go to the clubs, bars, and just have a good time. And it just made me feel so down. I'm like, man, why is it making me feel like this? And so what I did was like I went back to my doctor. I'm like, man, this is making me feel down, suicidal, like. And I'm like, I'm not like that. That's not me. Like, and I had to take so much Xanax. You know what I'm saying? I got to take 3 a day, and I took 3 a day every single day. And then I started on the Paxil, and then I took that. It says on the first time I ever took it, it said on the bottle, it says take it in the morning, um, every day. I'm like, okay. So I take it in the morning, and I would just feel so tired. And then I felt like this for like 2 weeks. And I'm like, man, like, doc, I feel so tired. Like, the medicine is working. Like, I can feel it working. I was still taking 3 Xanax a day because I thought that was normal. But I'm like, man, I feel so tired. It's like, then I know it says to take it in the morning, but you can take it. Just make sure you take it at the same time every day. It's like I would advise you to take it at night. Now I start taking it at between 6 and 8 at night. And if I take it at 6 or 8 at night, initially I would be knocked out by like 9 or 10 o'clock. Now I'd be able to sleep 8 straight hours, easy, and wake up feeling good, feeling better, and that's kind of been my antidote, to it. Not that's the right word, but it's kind of been my thing. I take it at between 6 and 8, and I'm in bed by 9, 10 o'clock. And then as I got used to it and my body got used to it, I was able to still live the normal night life I used to live. Like I was able to, if I take it from at between 6 and 8, I can still go out and have a good time and not pass out on anyone or nothing. Stay out till 2 or 3 and still come home and go to sleep and sleep for 8 hours like a normal person. I want to say the thing that helped me most is as soon as I started taking these SSRIs, back in September, because I had a panic attack on the 9th and I had a panic attack on the 11th. And that's what made me go to the doctor on the 12th to start um, my getting on something that kind of helped me with panic attacks. Because before then, I had never had a panic attack since 2007. And it's 2011. It was 4 years ago. In between those 4 years, I had drove to Wisconsin and back, Cleveland and back plenty of times. I've driven, you know what I'm saying, up to 18 hours there and back, to different places, you know what I'm saying? And my agoraphobia, and which is the reason I'm on Paxil, which means a fear of, um, is driving. Like, I had my 2 panic attacks while I drove, and then every time I got in my car, like, my arms would lock up, my hands would lock up, my feet would lock up, just like I was having a panic attack, even if I just sat in my car. And then I started with counseling, and he kind of worked me through some breathing techniques. Initially, and I was just kind of getting everything out there. And then he started with me just riding as a passenger in other people's cars and not driving my own car. And there was a time, like, I filled up my car. I remember it like it was yesterday. I filled up my car September 11th. Went for a drive, and then I had a panic attack. And I drove my car home. I just filled it up that day. And I was driving my car yesterday, and I'm like, man, my car is still on full. I'm like, when did the last time I filled it up? And I was like, oh man, I'm still running on the same gas that I had back in September, and it's almost 2 months from there. But it was crazy. I was just thinking about that. Where's I going with that? Where's I going? But anyways, dang, I cannot get to where I was going with that. Oh, but basically every time I got in my car, my hands would lock up and all that stuff. So I was riding as a passenger in people's cars. Then I got to the point where I could ride for an hour or so. And then he was like, "All right, now I want you to try that in your car. Not drive far, just drive around the block." Well, first it was sitting in my car. So I sat in my car for a while, and I would sit in my car for about 5 minutes a day, like 5 times a day. And then I would feel anxious, I feel tense, and he told me keep his Xanax with me, and if it gets too bad, take one. And then it got to the point where he's like, all right, now I feel like you're comfortable enough. Take a drive around the block. So I would start doing laps around the block every day. Just drive around the block once, park my car, feel good. Then he's like, all right, make the loop a little bit bigger. So I take a little deeper loop, and you know what I'm saying? I still have my Xanax with me every trip. Then my loops got bigger and bigger and bigger, you know what I'm saying? Until I felt comfortable, you know what I'm saying? And I start breaking down these barriers that were holding me back. And it's kind of hard when you're just given pills with no direction and no plan. And that's the main thing I got out of therapy. Not really. I mean, of course, I got a lot out of the techniques and the talking to him, but him actually giving me a plan and something to follow, because I'm so determined not to be on Xanax forever, not to be on anything forever. I don't even want to be on Paxil, to be honest, but I know at this point I need it. Just at this point, you know what I'm saying, because I'm getting reevaluated in I think like 4 months. I'll go to see him at the beginning of next year. And then we're gonna work on a tapering plan to kind of taper me off of it, which is nice. And then we'll kind of see how the tapering plan goes, because I mean he said it may be I'm off it forever, or I may have to kind of stay at a low dosage for a while and kind of work my way down. But I mean I'm happy to get that process, but I'm just happy to live in it now at this point. And anxiety definitely makes you live in it now. Your second question was, like, are you your normal self again without taking the Xanax, or do you have to take it with it to be effective? Like I said, initially I was taking 3 Xanax a day. I started counseling like pretty much the next day after I started taking Paxil. Definitely check your insurance card to see if there's anything for mental health um, coverage. because most people would be surprised that that they're covered, that their medical insurance covers um, medical cost. That covers mental health costs. So definitely check out your insurance. If you don't have insurance, just call local places and see what their rates are. Um, because some really aren't that bad. You might find some that are really expensive, but if you go to like a good one, they're usually pretty flexible. My insurance only covers a portion, and I end up having to pay like $10 a session or something like that. So you just have to find a good one. Luckily, I was able to find a good one on the first try. And don't get discouraged if you find someone that's terrible. Like you don't have to fight through it with them. Just find someone you're comfortable with, because you know what I'm saying, you're gonna have to find someone you can trust, especially on this kind of journey. So I would definitely find someone that you're able to trust. Um, I want to say I'm normal. Don't we all though? But I'm able to live life within reason. I'm able to initially, like when you have these anxiety disorder, it makes you, like, I took it as, it made me appreciate a lot of things. I remember there were days when I'm like, mom would tell me, "Hey, can you run to the store?" I'm like, "Oh man, I want to run to the store, blah blah, or whatever." And now my mom's like, "You want? Can you run to the store?" I'm like, "Yeah." Like it gives me another chance to get in the car and conquer this and beat this. And I'm able to go further each day. I'm able to be able to go out with my friends again, and you know what I'm saying, go out to eat. You know what I'm saying, go to a bar, go to a club, just live the normal life I lived before. Only difference is I'm taking a Paxil every day, and I'm not taking Xanax. Um, I like in the last 3 weeks I've probably taken 3 Xanax. It's probably a good number, probably 2 or 3 Xanax in the last 3 weeks. Um, it only happens when I'm almost like pushing myself when I'm driving. If I go a little bit further than I'm used to, my body will kind of like, hey, you're getting a little too far. Like, but normally it's nah. I've been pretty good. But initially, like I took 3 Xanax every single day until it kind of kicked in, and that kick in point is anywhere from 3 to 6 weeks. For me, my body's real sensitive to medicine, and it took probably 2 weeks for it to kind of let me know it was like in me. And then that third week, I kind of felt normal. I woke up one day and I was just like, wow, like, like I wasn't anxious anymore. Like I would wake up every day anxious. Like, and then one day I just didn't wake up anxious. Like I'm like, wow, like it's amazing. Like, counseling helps too. Like it helps with your mind state and all that. But working out also helps out a lot. Staying active, running, all those things help out a lot. Um, yeah, you were saying you didn't want to rely on Paxil. You didn't want to rely on Xanax or Klonopin, and I can definitely understand you um, in that statement, because I told my doctor and I told my therapist. I'm like, he was like, so why did you come to counseling? That was his first question. I'm like, because I want to drive again. And because I don't want to rely on medicine to medicate me for the rest of my life. That's not the kind of person I was before. And that's not the kind of person I want to be going into the future. I don't want to have to be, oh man, my prescription is up. I don't have any money. Oh man, I don't know how I'm going to get through it. Blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to live that life. So I'm like, man, I got to find a better way. And I did. I'm still taking the Paxil and all that good stuff. But basically, what I'm doing now is um, kicking this Xanax. It used to be my first resort. Used to be, I don't want my panic attack to start. Bam, take a Xanax. before I get in the car, take a Xanax. Before I even start getting panic symptoms, I'd take a Xanax before I even drove anywhere. I'm like, oh, I'm taking a Xanax. I don't even want them to start. And now it's the last resort. I get in my car, I drive to where I got to, and then I realize I didn't even need that Xanax. Then that'd be one last Xanax I didn't need. And then I start getting a little anxious in the middle of the day. Breathe through my belly, take a deep breath, and oh, it went away. And that Xanax is pumping serotonin. It's pumping serotonin, that feel good hormone. It's pumping, pumping, pumping. It's pumping through your brain, and it'll naturally make you calm down if you allow it to. And and if you think that it's working, but you feel like you still can't get that extra edge off, that's where I'm about to get to. Um, then you might have to talk to your doctor, because I was getting to that point. I was on 20 milligrams. Some people are on way higher milligrams, they're like 80, 160, 150 or something, on some outrageous numbers. I'm like, wow, that's a lot. And I thought 20 was a lot for me. It was kind of over. It was kind of powerful for it to only be 20. Um, but I kind of felt like I was at a plateau. Like my body got so used to the 20 that like I felt like I had to take. I mean, I didn't take a Xanax, but I felt like I needed to. I'm like, why do I still feel this way? And he ended up upping me to. Let me see that. I ended up upping me to 30. It's not like I didn't think it was a big jump, but my he's like, yeah, it's a 50% increase. But I mean, now with the 30, I think that's my optimal peak. Like that's where I need to be. Um, I think the 20 was sufficient because it was just kind of like a starter, but the 30 is right where I need to be, and I don't need to go higher. I don't need to go lower because it puts me in a really, really good place. I don't have to take a Xanax at all. Like ever since I've been on this 30 milligrams, I haven't had to take a Xanax at all, and I've been, I feel amazing. I feel good. Um, and life has been good, so I definitely feel great about that. You said you'd like to get back to working full time. I'm also in the same boat. I'm thinking about my future. I'm like, man, I'm in college. Eventually, I'm gonna have to get out and work and, provide for my family. And I'm like, I'm always thinking ahead, like, how am I gonna do this with anxiety? Like, being in a place where I'm worried about, like, I don't want to be on a job and just all of a sudden the ambulance have to come and wheel me out because I'm having a panic attack, sitting at my desk. Who wants to hire a person like that? So I'm like, man, I gotta find ways to combat it. Again, counseling, being able to have a plan, have a goal in mind, and conquering that goal. Um, because it was funny because September 11th was on a Sunday. On the 12th, I was supposed to go to a job interview. Well, not a job interview. I was supposed to go to my first day at work, and I had to call Sears and tell. Like I had a great job lined up with Sears, and they told I had to tell them like I can't. I'm not gonna be able to work. And they're like, why? Like you know what I'm saying? Like we really need you. Like the job paid well. It was a position I was very familiar with. It was a job that would have been very comfortable and easy for me. Like and I would have made a nice salary from it. And I couldn't even take the job. And that was probably one of the most depressing. I mean, I've been looking for a job forever, and I finally get one, and this happens. Now I can't take it, so it's kind of hard. And pretty much, I've been looking at places local. Local to where I live because the money is a little bit further, but I'm still working my way up to drive those kind of distances. But basically, you'll get there. It's gonna take time. It's gonna take you um, building a solid plan to overcome everything you're going through. let's see. Yeah, you were telling me you have fear of, let's see, being in a situation where you're alone, stuff like that. I have those same things. I have those all the time actually. Being alone definitely is one of the triggers for anxiety for me as well. Um, and I think it's because, see, when we're by ourselves, we are allowing, we have nothing to really stimulate our brain. We can sit there and watch TV. We can sit there and be on the computer. We can sit there and play games. We can sit there and or work in the garden or do a home project or do laundry or wash dishes or cook a meal, whatever we do at our house. But with nothing, with no other human there to really stimulate us, all we can do is be inside of our own mind. And that's the worst place we can be, especially with people that have anxiety. And I learned that from my therapist. So I was asking him, like, when my family's around, I'm fine. But when they leave, it's like, I don't know, I just get anxious. And I'm thinking, like, man, like, what if I just, like, have a panic attack, pass out, and no one's here? You know what I'm saying? That's what I always used to think, like. And then it got to the point where I'm like, man, I'll be fine. Like, I'm gonna be good. Like, there's no different from them being here and not being here. And I just find things to occupy my time. You know, do some breathing exercises. Do some work, write some poetry. You just gotta do things to get out of your own mind. Because if you're sitting still or you're not doing anything, all your mind is like your mind never turns off. Never. Not even while you're sleeping. So your mind is constantly, if it doesn't have anything to think about, it's just gonna keep going, keep going, keep going. You could not be thinking about anything. But your mind is going and going and going and going and racing and racing and racing and racing. It's gonna think about something. And one of those somethings may be something to trigger your anxiety. So it's all about you basically coming up with a plan and following that plan and having faith that that plan will work. Because trust me, after you get through the first couple of weeks, you won't need the Klonopin as much. Um, and the breathing exercises, the breathing techniques, they'll help too. I'm I'm trying to figure out how to post. I'm scanning a lot of this stuff, like a lot of the for the people that can't really afford. It's wow, it's a long video. I'm scanning a lot of this information. It's a very informative video though. I'm scanning a lot of the information to my blog. Got my little Acer tablet. I'm trying to make sure I covered everything in the email. Um, I'm scanning. I'm scanning a lot of the information I received. Some websites you can visit, little tidbits, little things to help with your anxiety. On my blog, they have Amazon has a link to some self-help books. They're pretty cheap. Definitely good reads, especially if you're alone or you don't have anything to do to pass the time, and um, you can't afford a therapist or whatever your reason is. I mean, they have really cheap books for under 10 bucks. Um, I have a couple that I read. I mean, my therapist is great, but I mean, sometimes he in a 90-minute session he can't, or a 60-minute session he can't give me everything. So sometimes I read the book and it'll have some different, some of them more quirky, but they work. It's I mean, it's all about trial and error. And you'll find things that work for you and some things that don't work for you. Yeah, but definitely just keep faith. The doctor is I mean, they're doing their job. They're trying to help you be better, but you also have to help yourself get better. They're giving you the tools. They're giving you the building blocks to do it. But it's all about putting those building blocks to work and putting everything together to make sure that you get the best out of the situation. Because Paxil alone won't help you, even with the Xanax. You know what I'm saying? It's going to take a concerted effort from you to be better, to want to get better, and want to get back to that normal life that you say you want to live, where you could go ride the bus every day. You know, because you know what I'm saying. You take for granted those little things. Like you just rather like before you, cause like I always think back to before I had these panic attacks, before I was on Paxil. I'm like, man, I lived such a carefree life. I didn't care about anything. I just oh, get up and ride the bus downtown. Okay, whatever. Oh, go up to I'm in Cincinnati. Oh, go up to Dayton. Go up to Columbus. 2 hours away. Go to Indianapolis for a Colts game. Okay, no problem. You know what I'm saying? Now, me going 5 minutes away to the grocery store it feels like a 2 hour drive to Indianapolis. And it definitely makes you appreciate life. Cut this video a little short, even though it's not really short. It's about running 32 minutes. Definitely be posting a second video. It'll basically be dedicated towards my progress and where I am in my progress and all that good stuff. Hopefully I answered your question. I'll forward you this YouTube link and an email so you can kind of view it at your own leisure. Hope everyone has an amazing, amazing Thanksgiving, or if you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, then have a happy holidays.